Thank you everyone for coming. And thank you for those who are watching either the recording or on Zoom. So we've got just about 30 people here. You can only see maybe 10 from the camera, but there's a whole bunch of people who aren't on camera on both sides here. So thank you for coming, everyone. I'm Ed Katz. I do marketing and public relations by day, and I do theater and film reviews and things like this at night. So you can follow me on Katz Reviews on Facebook, and my YouTube channel is Ed Katz. And I want to tell you, so you save the date, the next movie, we're not going to have one in March, but in February 26th, we have One Battle After Another, which just got nominated for 13 Oscars. And it's on HBO Max and a couple other platforms too.
HBO Max. HBO Max comes with us.
Yeah, it's included with Hotwire here. For everyone in Eastpointe, we already get it. Yeah. All right. So let's start. We're talking about Jay Kelly tonight, and I want to see. So who thought the movie was well done? Yes, raise hands.
That what?
That it was well done. Okay, about half. All right. Who didn't like it? Didn't think it was well done.
Well done and like are two different things.
Right. Okay. Didn't think it was well done. All right. Just a couple. And who was so in the middle? All right. A handful. Okay. Hi. All right. Did anyone outright not like the film? Nobody just didn't like it. Okay. All right. Okay. So someone who did like it, you want to talk about why? Any volunteers? Yes.
I liked it because I loved the way it came around after we watched all these things about him. He was a shallow person. He was not a wonderful father at all. And he wanted his second chance, just like he did in the beginning. He wanted to do it again. And wouldn't we all love a second chance and go back?
Right.
Wrong? I thought that was good.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. It did come full circle completely. Right. Okay. Great. Anyone else? Any other comments now? Yes.
I like the quote by Sylvia Plath at the beginning. I thought that really summed up what the movie was about for me. Knowing oneself, finding oneself is more difficult than acting out a part or not having any part.
Right. Right. Good point. Yeah. The Sylvia Plath quote in the beginning set the tone. Sure. Okay. Any other comments yet? We'll get to more later.
I think aside from the story and everything,
I
loved so much of the scenery besides the story itself.
Yeah.
The European
Yeah.
great.
Nice. Okay. Good. So the film had a 76 from Rotten Tomatoes critics, 75, 76, but an 87 from audiences. So they liked it more so than some of the critics. On IMDb, it got a 6.6. Which is good, but usually 7.0 and above is where it's really good. So that's kind of interesting. And the Rotten Tomatoes critic summation is George Clooney riffs on his star persona with disarming vulnerability, while Adam Sandler impressively expands his dramatic range in Jay Kelly, a Hollywood satire that's gentler than one might expect from director Noah Baumbach. Okay. They didn't disclose the budget, interestingly enough. And it had a very limited theatrical release, so it didn't do big box office. It was meant for Netflix. Netflix basically commissioned the film. At the Golden Globes, it had nominations for Best Actor for George Clooney and Best Supporting Actor for Adam Sandler. Does anyone know how many Oscar nominations it got? Joel is right. Got 0. Shut out. Yeah. I was hoping Adam Sandler would get a Best Supporting Actor nomination. I thought he did really some of his best work. He was terrific. But no such luck. It was at the Venice International Film Festival. It was a Critics' Choice nomination for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor for Sandler, Original Screenplay, and Casting Ensemble. And probably its highest regard, the National Board of Review put it in its top 10 for 2025. So that's significant. All right, so Noah Baumbach. People familiar with him, the director and co-writer?
I'm trying to remember, but I know he's.
Okay.
You do the whale?
He did The Squid and the Whale, right, which he got his first Oscar nomination for Best Screenplay for that. That was his first film in 2005. And at the time, I guess, let's see, he was like 36. Because he was born in 69. His parents' divorce during his adolescence inspired The Squid and the Whale. And his early films were Kicking and Screaming, never saw that. Mr. Jealousy, I didn't see that. But then he started collaborating with Greta Gerwig. Some of you probably familiar with her, and I'll cover her credits in a minute. But the first one of his collaborations was Greenberg in 2010, which was a quirky, he does usually quirky movies, but it was pretty good. They did Frances Ha together, black and white movie where Gerwig played Frances Ha, got really good reviews. It was a good, kind of depressing movie, but really good. It was inspired by the French New Wave films, and he also did Mistress America. I don't remember that one. His Netflix partnership began with the Meyerowitz stories with Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller. He also did Marriage Story with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, which was terrific, very powerful. He got his second screenplay Oscar nomination. And that movie won Laura Dern a Best Supporting Actress.
What's the name of the movie?
Marriage Story.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, that's on Netflix. Very powerful film. And he co-wrote Barbie with Greta Gerwig, the huge mega hit Barbie. And that got him his third Academy Award nomination for writing. That film grossed over $1.4 billion worldwide. And then Baumbach and Gerwig got married in 2023. So Jay Kelly represents his most mainstream project to date, and it was described by AI as a meta-examination of movie stardom, with George Clooney essentially playing himself, although, as Nancy pointed out correctly, not really, because he doesn't have grown kids. He's got young kids. And he was only first married to Amal, I forget her last name, the lawyer, in 2014, and his twins were born in 2017. So the movie was filmed on 35 millimeter film, which is kind of rare these days, by Linus Sandgren, and it was filmed in New York, London, and Tuscany. I thought we were going to hear France in that, but no. It maintains Baumbach's signature themes of identity, performance, and authentic human connection while reaching for broader audience appeal. Now, the co-writer of this film was Emily Mortimer, who has a small role in the film. Anyone remember her?
Yes.
Okay.
She was she worked for them.
Right.
Artist.
Right.
Hair person.
No, she wasn't the hair person. She was like the studio person. Yeah,
Right.
she was the studio person. So she's the daughter, in real life, the daughter of dramatist Sir John Mortimer, which name I didn't know, but he was the creator of Rumpole of the Bailey, a big British show. She studied Russian at Oxford before going into acting, and her writing credits include a semi-autographical BBC series called Doll and M and The Pursuit of Love, but also for the BBC. But as an actress, she has been in films Match Point, Shutter Island, Hugo, and her big one where I remember with Anne, we watched her in HBO's The Newsroom. She played Mackenzie McHale. Yes.
I think people are trying to get in or something.
I should see a note on that, but I'm not seeing it.
And I just got a note from somebody that said there's no.
Okay, so yeah, she was big in The Newsroom, which on HBO, which was a terrific show if you didn't see it. And who was the star of that again?
Jeff Daniels.
Thank you, Jeff Daniels, right? I was thinking it was Daniel something, but okay, yeah, Jeff Daniels.
And her.
And Emily Mortimer, right. All right, so George Clooney, interestingly enough, was born in Kentucky. Jay Kelly was born in Kentucky. Despite his aunt being legendary singer Rosemary Clooney, he struggled for years before breaking through at age 33 in ER back in the 90s. His career balances commercial blockbusters with serious dramatic work. And Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13 made him a huge star. He won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for Syriana in 2005. Also, he was in Michael Clayton in 2007, Up in the Air 2009. That was one of my favorite movies with him. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of his. He's got a thing he does, and that's his like his shtick. The Descendants was a pretty good movie too, so he got nominations for that too. As a producer, he won Best Picture for Argo. He was a producer of Argo, which is a terrific movie with Ben Affleck. He also played Edward R. Murrow in the film and the Broadway show Good Night and Good Luck. And they actually video recorded the Broadway production of Good Night and Good Luck. I think it was HBO Max had that. So I saw it, which was very good. Now, interestingly, he had Bell's palsy at age 15. So he had his face was kind of drooped on his side. But he made a full recovery. But emotionally, he was teased because he was 15. So that was difficult for him. He seems to have recovered pretty well. Yes. He married human rights attorney Amal Alamuddin in 2014. They have twins born in 2017, and apparently that was his first marriage, which I didn't realize. His tequila is Casamigos, a brand he co-founded with Rondé Gerber and Mike Meldman. It means House of Friends in Spanish, created for personal enjoyment, but became a huge success, ultra premium brand, and it was sold to Diageo for about $1 billion with a B in 2017. So that's why you haven't seen him too much since 2017.
He doesn't need it.
Exactly, he doesn't need the money, right? So, but Jay Kelly is full of metacasting. The character shares Clooney's age, career trajectory, and filmography. The tribute reel showed Clooney's work, which, by the way, was a surprise to George Clooney. He didn't know it until he was watching it while they were filming him. So those reactions were pretty genuine.
Those were actually his shows that George Clooney was in?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Jay Kelly didn't do any real show.
All right, a little snarky. Okay, so Adam Sandler as Ron. He, obviously came to fame in Saturday Night Live in the early 90s with comedy with Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy. Very silly, broad comedies, but very popular. His company is Happy Madison Productions, and he's got creative control to work repeatedly with his friends, which is why some of the people in his films keep working, because he's friends with them and they might not work otherwise. I don't have to name names. You'll know who they are if you see his films. What distinguishes him now is his dramatic range when given proper material. Punch Drunk Love showed he was good with vulnerability and rage. The Meyerowitz Stories, his first Baumbach collaboration, got acclaim. Uncut Gems brought intensity, and that was directed by one of the Safdie brothers, who also just did the Marty Supreme. Okay, that was a controversy when he was snubbed for an Oscar nomination for that. His personal life is ironically notably stable, especially for a Hollywood guy. He's been married since 2003, has 2 daughters, one of whom's in this film, in the tennis scene. He's known for loyalty to collaborators and prioritizing family time, unlike the Jay Kelly character. So in Jay Kelly, he plays Ron, Jay's longtime manager, who has subordinated his own life to another person's career. The role requires him to convey decades of exhaustion, resentment, and ultimately love. Both Sandler and Clooney received Golden Globe nominations. Laura Dern played Jay's publicist. She won the Oscar for Baumbach's Marriage Story for Best Supporting Actress. And this is her 3rd Baumbach collaboration. And she's best known for Big Little Lies, Blue Velvet, Jurassic Park, Rambling Rose, and Enlightenment. And she had almost 50 pretty major roles when I was looking her up. way too many to go into, but those were, I think, some of her more popular. Now, Billy Crudup, you guys familiar with him? He played Timothy, the resentful actor.
Love Billy Crudup. Kind of love him.
Yeah. He's great. I mean, I remember him in Almost Famous. He was the rock star in Almost Famous.
That's ironic.
Yeah, there you go. And but he recently won an Emmy for, anyone know?
The morning shows.
Morning Show, right. He's terrific in the Morning Show. So the role demonstrates here what happens to talented actors who don't become a Jay Kelly. So he was also in Spotlight, Big Fish, and Watchmen. Now, Riley Keough plays Jessica, his older daughter. Anyone know her lineage?
I'm Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
Right? And who's her mom?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa Marie. Yes.
Priscilla.
Oh, Priscilla.
Priscilla, yeah.
Priscilla is her grandmother. Yes.
Oh, Priscilla's right. That's
Yes.
right. Lisa Marie's her mom. Yes. Thank you. Right. So that gets again to the lineage thing with the daughters, because they do a lot of that. Because I mean, Clooney himself, you know, Rosemary Clooney.
Yep.
So it was Riley Keough. There's also Eve Hewson, who was in the when he had the flashback scene where he was shooting a love scene with the actress. That was Eve Hewson. Does anyone know who her father is? You'll know the name.
John. Yeah.
No, Hewson. Hewson.
Oh.
Bono.
Oh,
Bono.
You too.
Oh, really?
That's her father. Yes.
So nepotism really works.
Well, that's the point of the film, is that they did a lot of that casting to show about the family connections in Hollywood. The older daughter. No, no. She plays the girl in the love scene when he had the flashback when he was a young actor.
Oh.
Okay, there's actually, and Jim Broadbent played Peter, who was his mentor, whose death sets the whole journey in motion. He was an Oscar winner for the movie Iris back in 2001. And there is a real basis of that character as the mentor. I'll get to that in a minute. But okay, so can we go again? The opening line of the movie. Jay Kelly opens with a single take sequence on the set. It's a death scene opposite a dog. And when the director calls cut, he immediately asks, "Can we go again? I'd like another one." So this establishes him as a serious professional, his perfectionism and inability to let go, and the question becomes the film's thesis, whether life, unlike filmmaking, allows you to redo mistakes. Now, Peter, going back to the Jim Broadbent character, the mentor, at the funeral, his son's eulogy notes, "My dad was never there," resonating with Jay, whose daughters would say the same. Then afterwards he has the encounter with Timothy, Billy Crudup, which was his old acting classmate. Timothy's frozen smile barely conceals resentment. Over drinks, he performs a method acting exercise with unsettling intensity. The scene raises uncomfortable questions. Was Jay more talented or luckier? Did he abandon craft for celebrity? Billy Crudup makes Timothy pathetic and terrifying at the same time. Okay, and then being Jay, he abandons the scheduled film he's supposed to work on to tag along with his daughter, Daisy, the younger one, in Europe. This throws everyone into chaos. Ron must abandon his daughter's tennis match and his life. Liz has to scramble as the publicist, and the whole celebrity machine kicks into gear with everyone dropping their lives to accommodate his crisis. Okay, it turns out there's actually 75 people whose livelihoods depend on him, especially with the film shoot he was supposed to do, all subordinated to maintaining his image. Okay, on the Italian train journey, that scene got some criticism, where some of the critics felt the encounters there felt manufactured, like characters just existed as signposts for Jay's journey rather than fully realized people. So they felt it was a little too calculated. But Clooney shows his genuine delight at being able to talk when he's not Jay Kelly performing as Jay Kelly. Now we get to see the estranged daughter, the older daughter, Jessica's resentment She articulates the pain of seeing her father play loving dads on screen while never being present himself. That cuts to the film's core, the gap between roles we play and people we are. So Jay gave his best performances to strangers while his family, theoretically got the outtakes, essentially. So Keogh's performance brings authentic pain. The scene doesn't provide easy resolution because some things can't be fixed with another take. Okay.
And a question on the
Sure.
the train, this heroic act.
Yes, he gets off the train. Right.
To grab get her pocket.
The pocket, the purse. Okay. So I thought about that. Good point. And I have it in my notes. Let me find my notes. Okay. He stops a purse snatcher on the way, and it ends up being at a mausoleum/cemetery, which I think underscores the point about how he's going to be remembered. This is the way I took it. And he wants to be remembered as a hero. So if he can't be one in real life, he'll at least act as one by saving this woman's purse. We're in front of a whole train where everybody sees it.
Was that really him? No.
Small parts. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I thought that was good, but it's a good question. Yes.
But didn't he kind of break out of himself because he got his suit dirty, he was sweating, he's running through that field?
Well, he's trying to be a good actor,
Really? Or do you think he's taking a break for that? At that? He's so
I think it's in character.
You do?
I do. Anyone else disagree or have any other thoughts on that?
Being real for a change.
Okay.
In the real world.
Being real.
You
Okay.
didn't know it was going to end up in one.
No, he didn't know it was going to end up in a muzzle. That's true. That's true. But that was, symbolic from the film. And I have a whole theory which I want to cover too. There's some critical reviews that I want to talk about that are positive and negative, and I think make interesting points and some trivia. But to me, there was a lot of Fellini references here. Did anyone else pick up on that? If you're not a big Fellini, you might not know, but he really borrowed or paid homage to Baumbach, to 8.5 and La Dolce Vita. So there's two scenes most notable for the Fellini touch. The one where he arrives in Tuscany, and all of a sudden the camera shifts to his point of view, and all these people are talking at him in overlapping people coming at him like that. That's right out of Fellini. Woody Allen stole it in Stardust Memories too, but it's right out of Fellini. And there's a scene where he goes back to references La Dolce Vita, where he's walking in the woods in the white suit with the mist. Right out of Fellini. A little Bergman too, but right out of Fellini in La Dolce Vita, where it's the opposite. In La Dolce Vita, Marcello Mastroianni is in a black suit on the beach with the white sand for the opposite contrast. And he's contemplating his fate and what all the mistakes he's made with the women in his life. Clooney's doing it with his family, his daughters. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And also the Mastroianni persona is very similar in those movies to Clooney's Jay Kelly here. And the dreamlike sequences and the memory flashbacks, all very much Fellini-esque, no question. So I thought there were a lot of parallels there, and that was on AI I found out, because I came up with that on my own, but AI supported it with a couple of critics mentioning it, including Leonard Maltin. But the cheesecake symbolism. Remember about the cheesecake? That was his deal. It was in the writer that there always had to be cheesecakes, like Van Halen always would want the M&Ms with the red ones removed. Well, the reason they put that in was to see if anyone actually read it. So anyway, so the cheesecake symbolism is a recurring detail where it's always waiting for Jay, and he kind of really doesn't even like it, but it symbolizes his lost identity and buried personal references. It's a subtle, almost absurd detail akin to Fellini's blend of the mundane and the profound.
But then he
But
does
then he
like,
eats
and then
it
at the
at
end,
the
he
end.
went back for a second portrait.
Right, at the end, he actually realized, oh, maybe I do like this. Yeah. Right. Yes, I'm sorry, you were going to say.
No, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, great.
It's almost like he was giving the cheesecake a second chance.
Yes, right. Good point.
Very
Great
good.
point. I like that. He was giving the cheesecake a second chance. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Good point. Okay. So then the tribute scene where he's kind of watching his own life essentially, because you see him when he was really young, even before ER, some early footage. But Ocean's 11's in there, Michael Clayton up in the air, The Descendants, and Baumbach didn't show Clooney this until they were filming. Sandler began to cry, and the Sandgren, the cinematographer, captured the tears. Also, the scene where Clooney, as Jay Kelly, grabs Sandler's hand was not scripted. That was real. And he made sure the camera got that too. So that was pretty cool. So Jay watches his career distilled into highlights and sees the passage of time, the aging, the accumulation of moments. It's like watching your life flash before your eyes while you're still alive. The tribute celebrates achievements while making clear time is finite and choices have consequences, and you don't get to go again. So as the applause explodes, he looks at the lens. Can we go again? I'd like another one. It doesn't work like that. So the film really doesn't have a neat resolution. Adam Sandler said it's a movie about pain, living with pain, coming to grips with what you've done wrong, and saying, now that I'm openly admitting I've been wrong, let's move forward. You can't correct the past, but you can at least say, let's move forward in the right direction.
But was it the right direction? Because he ended up being very satisfied with celebrity again, and not connecting with his children.
Well, he tried. They didn't want to anymore. It was like too late. He blew it. He didn't get the second chance with them.
Right.
But hopefully, at least with Ron, who may be his only friend, he has another chance with him. I think that's all he's got left. I mean, and they made the contrast with the Patrick Wilson character who played the other actor, Alcock, who was the client of Ron's, whose whole family shows up for the tribute, and he's got nobody. He's begging his father, who was a total jerk. His father leaves, and he has to beg Ron to stay. And he said, "Well, you're the one I really want to hear after all." And he goes, "I'm the only one here."
But I don't think, I thought that was a lie. He was so desperate to have someone.
I thought so too. I thought so. You're my only friend for 15% of everything I make.
Right.
It was nice to see, not a real Stacy Keach.
Yeah, Stacy Keach. Yeah, that was played the father.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
It surprised me in the credits roll type of thing.
Oh, you didn't recognize it? Yeah.
I recognized when I didn't realize he was still around.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost wasn't in the movie though. He had a close call. But yeah, he did a good job, playing a jerk. But yeah. Okay, so all right, I want to get to some of the critics. There's some interesting comments they made. All right, so yeah, on my notes.
Well, some of the critics talked about it could have been a better movie if they went a little deeper in some ways. It was, you're dealing with a narcissist who's kind of unraveling and wanting something different, except he can't. He is who he is at the end of the day.
Right.
They had an opportunity there to go just a little deeper, let him unravel.
Okay, now they sort of had a moment where they kind of tried that with the daughter bringing him to the therapist. And what did he do?
Walked out.
Walked out. So
Ran to the hills.
he didn't want to deal with it. That was the problem. Yes.
But I wonder if George Clooney is like that really in real life. I'm serious. Here we are making parallels.
We don't know.
And we'll never know
Right.
because we won't be privy to it. But I tend to think not.
I
I tend to think by the choice he made in his spouse and by the way he's living his life now, that it's probably not the way he would handle it if it's really him.
I don't
Maybe
think
he
he
did
did
that
that before, and then he realized at a pretty late age in life that he wanted to do it again.
Well, interestingly enough, this was his first marriage in 2014, so he was in his
I
50s.
think he was married once.
No, I looked it up. It was not. That was it.
No, he was
That's a
funny,
good
'cause he said he was not good at marriage, and he would never get married again.
He was basically a semi-confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
But, but he did stress in interviews that his relationship with his father was good. It was very good. So
And he's
he
not a
wanted-
Hollywood guy. He steps.
He's not a
Europe,
Hollywood guy at
right,
all. He lives in
outside of
Lake
there.
Como.
Right.
Not anymore, it's sold away.
He moved out of Lake Como to France.
And you know, I
Okay.
don't think he's I didn't even think the character was a narcissist personally. I just think the guy was driven by his career and wanting to do it.
Are you on your phone and on the screen?
That's an uncommon,
Okay.
I felt like, for anybody.
But he didn't have any friends. He didn't have any
One
real
after the other,
friends.
after the other.
His only relationships were with his employees.
I felt like the
I'm just
entourage
He didn't have
that
any,
he had made him
You
a
could not have any friends and not be a
That's an
narcissist.
interesting point, that the entourage he had kind of made him a narcissist.
because
yeah.
they were
But-
doing
but he-
everything for him. They made a bubble around him.
Right, and they kept saying it's like you're taking care of a 60-year-old child.
Right.
You know, that was
And
Laura
like
Dern's line.
the fact that he was on the train, he hadn't been in the public. It was
Right.
so jarring, you know, to have him be in.
Father's at the end.
What
Does
was
he have
the
two
complaint
wives?
about the train
No.
scene? There was, you said something.
That
about
it
the-
seemed forced and a bit artificial, that the characters weren't real.
See, I thought
Yeah, they said calculated was the
I
word.
thought the opposite. I thought it felt like it was new to him, and he was like hesitant at first, and he just slowly engaged more and more, and really ended up enjoying it.
Right, he did seem to enjoy it, yeah.
You didn't get any feel from the wives. He must have had two wives because the kids were
Yes.
so different.
But they were
age.
like invisible
Right.
in the movie.
Yeah.
They didn't show up as friends or caring or.
Nope. And he didn't want to call them to come to the
Nothing.
tribute.
No.
He had no
So they were like,
relationship.
Well, originally, he didn't want to go to the tribute at all.
That's true.
He gave it away. He didn't have
Right.
any interest in the tribute.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he was a narcissist.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's true. If he was a narcissist, he would have wanted to tribute right away, right? That's a good point.
And he wanted to, he would have wanted to be the only one
I
too.
just think.
Well, he did want to be the only one. That was ship at sail, though, yeah.
I thought he was just obsessed in being good at what he was, and the other stuff just happened to come with it. With a lot of very wealthy people have all that.
Right, but he was one after the other, one after the other. He never stopped to take a break, to
Right.
breathe.
I think there's a lot of people like that.
And he kind of screwed the people along
I
the
wonder
way.
if it would have been a better movie if it was somebody else who played the lead. Because for me, it was.
All right, you want to know who was originally
Oh,
attached?
okay.
You want to guess?
Yeah, I know.
Brad
Get a
Pitt.
kick out of this.
Give us a hint.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
I think
Just a
he
guess.
played the same person that he played in Ocean's 11. And when I saw him was that same type of cool kind of guy, and so I thought it took away from feeling for him, you know?
All right, he's been praised for his vulnerability in this role. Again, like I said, I'm not a huge George Clooney fan. My wife's not a George Clooney fan. You know, it is what it is.
Do you remember what the MC, what is her name, Terry Glazer, the comedian?
Oh,
Nikki
yeah.
Glaser.
The Golden, she said, she made a joke, that was George Clooney, being George Clooney. It didn't seem to require
I
much
think Brad
acting.
Pitt would have had the same problem.
Yeah. I think
Wow.
you're right.
I agree.
Well, interestingly, he didn't apparently want to do it.
And
Yes,
I think Nick Clooney is still alive.
yeah,
Okay.
he is his father, yep. Yep.
Played by Stacey Dash.
All right, so the New York Times, Manola Dargis, who's their main critic, gave it a critic's pick. She said, Noah Baumbach's J. Kelly is a deceptively gentle examination of celebrity, masculinity, and the toll of a life lived in performance. Clooney gives what may be his most vulnerable, self-aware performance. The film opens brilliantly. Jay shoots an emotional death scene opposite a dog. When the director calls cut, Jay asks, can we go again? This question, the film's refrain, establishes everything. Jay is a perfectionist who can't let go, who believes life should allow do-overs like cinema. Baumbach and co-writer Emily Mortimer navigate this material with intelligence. The screenplay understands his privilege, enables his soul searching. Ordinary people can't abandon commitments to find themselves in Italy. Yet it recognizes genuine isolation of celebrity, how fame creates barriers to authentic connection. The casting of Clooney is both obvious and inspired. Jay Kelly shares Clooney's age, trajectory, even filmography. This meta-textual move deepens examination of performed identity. Is there a meaningful difference between Clooney and Jay Kelly? The film refuses to separate them. Sandler gives a beautiful, understated performance as Ron. When he watches Jay's tribute reel and cries, we understand he's mourning not just Jay's past, but also his own. Riley Keough brings authentic pain as Jessica, the older daughter. articulating damage of watching your father perform a loving fatherhood on screen while barely knowing him in reality. And the key line she had with her father, who she called Jay, he said, you know, it has to mean something. He talks about his career, and she said, what if it didn't? Because it didn't to her, clearly. The tribute ceremony climax is stunning. Baumbach didn't show Clooney the footage until filming. Clooney's reaction is genuine, watching his life condensed into highlights. Cinematographer Linus Sandgren captures a tear falling down Sandler's face, images that feel earned rather than manipulative. The ending is deliberately ambiguous. When Jay says, "Can we go again?" what does he mean? Is it hopeful, tragic, resigned, defiant? The film does not tell us. The ambiguity is precisely what makes Jay Kelly resonate.
Yeah.
Okay. Los Angeles Times, Justin Chang. Okay, he said Adam Sandler continues his remarkable dramatic resurgence. As Ron, Jay's manager, he conveys decades of subordinated selfhood with heartbreaking specificity. Watch how Ron soothes Jay with the exact same tone he uses with his daughter, revealing he's been treating Jay like a child for 30 years. The screenplay is sharp. The scene where Jay encounters Timothy, Billy Crudup again, his old classmate who never achieved stardom, crackles with resentment. Crudup makes Timothy simultaneously pathetic and terrifying. The scene raises uncomfortable questions. Was Jay more talented or luckier? And neither man found the answer.
Excuse me, it also
Yes.
says something about our society.
Yes, go ahead.
I think it did demonstrate that the Kudak character was more talented.
The scene where he cries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Jay Kelly was talented, but he had the face and he was envious of his friend who was a better actor, who just didn't have the look that this director wanted.
Right.
Well, also, he
The
stole
audition,
his audition,
Yeah.
because he said he was gonna do it, and they said stick to the script,
Yep.
and then Jay Kelly took his interpretation.
Right. Well,
But he did
right.
give him the opportunity.
He
to
did
do it.
give him the opportunity, and he didn't
He
take it.
didn't
Right.
want,
That's right.
And Kudak said, no, thank you.
Right. He didn't. He wanted to stick
He
to
was
the script.
afraid.
But I'm thinking that instead of valuing what happened to Billy Crudup's character, he became a very successful psychoanalyst.
Yes.
That in itself is a wonderful thing and should be valued more than Hollywood stardom, which is so ephemeral and so based on luck and where you are and who's in the room with you.
Well, there is
And
talent.
he should have been so grateful. I mean, Crudup should have been so grateful that he had a real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did
He
kind of
thought
throw it
his
in
dad-
his face a little
Yeah.
about talking about family, but
That's-
he did have another revenge. You know what it was?
What was it?
The therapist for the daughter.
Oh, right.
He referred the therapist.
Right.
And she hates the father. She hates Jay, so he got his revenge that way.
You're right.
I thought that was kind of.
And
Yeah.
the therapist had no insight. His role wasn't stolen by Jay. He flunked the role.
Yeah.
And he never accepted that.
No, I'm not talking about that there. I'm talking about the daughter's therapist.
Yeah.
Carter.
I'm just saying.
But yes, no, I understand. You're right. Yeah. He didn't pass the audition. You're right. But he stole the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't really think he had a right to be mad at Jay Kelly because he showed up by accident and the director chose him by accident. As Nancy said, he offered him to have a go and he said no. So he was so self-righteous.
right, Billy Crudup needed more therapy. He did, he needed more therapy.
Huh?
Billy Crudup needed more therapy himself.
Right, I think so.
Okay, so
Don't we all?
Richard Roper, Chicago Sun-Times, called the film, he gave it 3 stars out of 4. He said it's well-crafted, beautifully performed meditation on celebrity and regret that sometimes feels more calculated than genuinely moving. The problem is the film never quite escapes feeling like an expensive therapy session for privileged people. Yes, Jay is lonely. Yes, celebrity creates barriers. Yes, he's failed as a father. But the film asks us to feel deeply for a man whose so-called crisis involves walking out on professional commitments to find himself in Italy. This is a luxury ordinary people, including 75+ employees whose jobs depend on him, could never afford. That said, the performances are uniformly excellent. Clooney's never been more vulnerable, again that word, Sandler's Ron is heartbreaking, a man who has subordinated his entire life to another person's career. Riley Keough brings authentic pain as Jessica. The tribute ceremony climax is undeniably powerful. Watching actual Clooney footage while Sandler cries creates a genuinely moving moment. And the final line, "Can we go again," resonates as both hopeful and tragic. Jay Kelly is worth seeing for performances and Baumbach's growth as a visual filmmaker. But I left feeling more admiration than genuine emotion, appreciating craft while remaining detached from Jay's journey, which is actually kind of how I felt, to be honest.
Yeah, it detached.
So, yeah, it's sad, right? Now, the negative review I found, National Review, Armand White. Noah Baumbach's Jay Kelly is insufferably self-indulgent exercise in Hollywood navel-gazing. Clooney plays a famous actor, essentially Clooney, and we're supposed to find depth in watching multimillionaire movie star angst about whether his career was meaningful. It's epitome of privilege masquerading as profundity. The film asks us to sympathize with Jay as he abandons professional commitments, leaving hundreds of jobs in jeopardy, to find himself on an expensive European vacation. When his manager, and it says Adam Sandler, wasted, meaning he was not utilized properly, must drop his daughter's tennis match to accommodate Jay's crisis, we're meant to see this as tragic. It is, but not in the way Baumbach intends. The Italian journey is particularly egregious. Jay encounters, quote, real people, unquote, who exist purely to facilitate his spiritual awakening. Fellow train passengers share life stories to illuminate Jay's emptiness. It's poverty tourism dressed up as soul searching. The tribute ceremony climax, where actual Clooney footage is presented as his career, is meant to be profound meta-commentary. Instead, it's simply Clooney looking at Clooney while Adam Sandler cries about Clooney. The narcissism is staggering. Okay, it's a little hard.
Is he not Clooney?
Rich people can get empathy too.
Okay, yeah, rich people can get empathy too. Okay. So, all right, I got, anyone have any comments you want to make at this point? And I can get to some fun trivia stuff.
Just that the fact that even when he wanted to reconnect with his children, he did it on his own terms. They didn't want him to come. And he was coming anyway.
Yeah.
But he was
And
so
so it wasn't like he was really trying to reconnect in the right way.
right.
Well, and with the older daughter, he walked out on the therapy session that she wanted him to go to. With her.
That therapist was out of control. She was.
During the tribute, he was looking around, and they were zooming in on different people. There was one person, a woman with dark hair. I don't know.
He was imagining people from his past.
So
in the theater.
was that his younger daughter?
No,
Was that supposed to
No,
be-
that was the girlfriend.
Okay, I didn't see the young enough.
The romantic,
Okay.
the love scene.
So he's kind of replacing what was really there with. Okay.
That's what he was seeing, and he did see real people, the people from the train who actually came.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. All right. So why did they shoot on 35 millimeter? According to the cinematographer's Linus Sandgren, we wanted it to feel like a film from another era, not in the nostalgic way, but in the sense of permanence. Digital. If they shot it on digital, that could feel ephemeral. Film feels permanent.
Yeah.
So now during the tribute ceremony, Baumbach wanted the shot focused on the hands clutching in the dark, but Sandgren stayed on the faces when he saw Sandler's tear about to fall. Noah was like, tilt down to the hands, but I didn't. Okay. Oh, when asked about the clips and the tribute scene being a surprise, Clooney said, oh, it was a surprise, all right. So he really did not know. Interestingly enough, Baumbach held weekly screenings of films that thematically inspired Jay Kelly, including Rossellini and Fellini and Hollywood classics. So there you go. So the film had its premiere in Venice in August 28th of 2025, and the screening received respectful applause, positive but not rapturous, which kind of foreshadowed the critical response. All right, so trivia. Remember, I said it was supposed to be Brad Pitt. He exited shortly before production, and they got Clooney. He joined the project within a day of reading the screenplay. He later joked that his only concern was adapting to Noah Baumbach's tendency to shoot numerous takes, which contrasts with his own preferred working style. He's noted that, unlike in the film, he has a close and loving relationship with his father, the journalist Nick. Okay, So Jim Broadbent's character, who was the mentor Peter who died, and we went to the funeral for, that was inspired by Peter Bogdanovich, a close mentor and father figure to Noah Baumbach. Bogdanovich, like Bogdanovich, the character experiences financial decline and is known for his trademark neckerchief. Clooney said he identified with the running gag in the film about the cheesecake being mandatory wherever he went. I've certainly been in that position where because you like something once, somebody put it in your rider. For me, it was Fuji apples. Every time I walk in a room, there are Fuji apples. When Jay was doing the sound check in the opening scene, he says Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday in an Italian accent, mimicking the scene, which I didn't pick up on this, from The Godfather, when Apollonia proves to Michael Corleone that she already speaks English. All right, Clooney actually agreed to be in the film before he read the script. He said that Noah Baumbach was one of a number of directors, including Alexander Payne, who did Sideways, Steven Soderbergh, and the Coen brothers, with whom he wanted to work no matter what the project was. Many of the actors are descended from famous people. So you've got, like we talked about, Riley Keough, the daughter of Lisa Marie and the granddaughter of Elvis. Eve Houston, the daughter of Bono. Laura Dern, daughter of Bruce Dern and Diane Ladd. Stacy Keach, son of Stacy Keach Sr. Adam Sandler's daughter, Sadie, was in the movie as well in the Tennessee. And of course, Clooney, the nephew of Rosemary Clooney.
Nepotism.
Yes.
Was the actress who played Daisy the daughter of anybody famous?
Not that I saw, no. Yeah, not that I saw. Wait a minute, I did have something on her. I don't know if I could find it. If I find it, I'll mention it. Yeah, references are made to Jay being from Kentucky, which Clooney was actually from. Oh, Clooney's real middle name is Timothy, which is the name of Billy Crudup's character. So that was another little tie-in. Let's see, some final points. I got a couple of little notes to close out. So yeah. Now look at Ron. Compare Ron's choices with Adam Sandler's actual choices, because Adam Sandler's built his entire career around working with his family and being around for it. So, and Ron kind of subjugated himself for Jay Kelly. So, do you think the film is too sympathetic to Jay's privilege or appropriately critical?
I think it's appropriately critical.
Me too.
And I also think that Adam Sandler made a conscious decision to work for him because he wanted the money. So it's not just that he subjugated himself to a personality, he subjugated himself to make a living. And that's what we all basically do.
Yeah. But you remember his character's last name, Ron? Sukanek. Kind of sounds like suck up. I thought. Joel, you were going to say something.
I felt sorry for the character, Jay, for what he missed in life.
Sure.
Children and his two girls.
Yeah.
He missed a huge.
Well, he did too, because he kept going back to the two Kelly girls.
Right.
Scene.
Yes, the scene. Yep. Yeah. And even in that scene, he's leaving.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Which
it
was
was
sad.
But lots of like hesitance, right? He was about to leave and he paused. He was about to leave
And it was
again.
in the tribute, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, that was in his head.
In his head.
Yeah. Yeah. That scene with the daughters in the tribute film was in his head. Yeah.
And I have trivia, not that it really matters that much.
Oh.
My husband Steve's only brother was roommates with Adam at NYU.
Wow.
And Tim, his writer Tim, I used to have Tim at the house all the time. I was his last name.
Oh,
His name was Kate. Yeah.
Nice. Did he like it?
Yeah, they're still good friends. He
Good.
went to the wedding.
Well, everyone says Sandler's loyal, so that's good.
Yeah, I had this with him all the time.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's great.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much all I've got. Next time again, one battle after another. Save the date. Watch the film. Yes. Any final comments? Anybody?
Hey Ed, it's Rosalie.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.